Okay, another day, another chance magpa-good vibes. Pero ilang tulog na lang ha, sa weekend I love month na. At may magba-birthday pero tsaka na lang ang reveal. For now, we keep you company in the next hour for the day's latest stories. I'm Denise Tan.
Ngayon na natin reveal. Ako si Lord de Vera. At ang magba-birthday this month ay dalawa, si Juan Ponce Enrile at si Chris Aquino. Hashtag #MyForever. And speaking of forever, welcome po sa programang kasama ninyo sa hapon for life. This is Afternoon Delight.
Okay, Thursday, January 30, buong week ang ating celebration po ha ng Lunar New Year. Kaya naman kasabay dyan ang ating chosen delight of the day, which is siomai.
Love you.
Love you. May chili mansi pa tayo. Ang siomai talaga, no, parang nakasanayan na natin na easy pick kapag tayo ay nagugutom.
Tama.
Diba? Kasi
Walang mag-aaway sa siomai.
mura. Usually, mga ganyan sinesteam lang kasi even if you buy and you make it at home, kailangan mo lang steam.
Sa totoo lang, it's one of the world's oldest existing recipes. No? Kasi yung sa Silk Road na dinadaanan nila Marco Polo, no? Kung praktikaran lang, andyan lahat yung kailangan mo and all served in a convenient wrapper. At isang subuan lang at nandun na lahat. Diba? At ang siomai, hindi ko alam pero, alam mo, sa mga bansang gaya ng, alam mo, sa Hong Kong, no? Ano siya, snack siya, no? Kasama ng tsaa. Pero sa atin, ulam na siya.
Ulam, oo. Kasi packed din naman siya, di ba? Usually it has pork. Yung iba, di ba, pinapaghalo nila pork and shrimp. So, very convenient nga itong kainin. Hahatiin ko pa sana, papakita ko yung loob.
Ano ang top 3 siomai mo dito sa Pilipinas?
What do you mean, brands?
O, kunyari, kung gusto ka ng siomai, ano yung bibili mo, ano yung orderan mo?
Ito kasi yung binila. Sabihin ba natin? Wag.
Huwag na.
Ay, wag na. Itong binila
Huwag mo
na.
na sabihin Chowking.
Parang
Di ba?
grade school pa ata ako nung last ako nakakain. Ito, Henlin.
Oh.
Oo, gusto ko rin tong Henlin. Dapat sa Master Siomai daw, kaya lang sobrang layo.
Oo.
Oo.
Hello. Hindi kasi ito yung mga greatest hits sa mga tren, stasyon ng tren. Yung mali nga raw ni Harry Roque nung sumakay daw siya ng MRT. Nung bumaba siya, hindi raw siya bumili ng siomai. Ano kaya yun? Sabi niya sa nag-comment. Anyway, alam mo, 3 piraso lang ng siomai, nakakabusog eh. Pero okay, ang favorite mo bang siomai ay pork or pork and shrimp?
Ako pork.
Masarap din, tama, no? Yun ang pinaka-common.
Actually, yung Henlin gusto ko to. Naalala ko nung bata ko kapag mag-grocery yung mother ko. Usually, di ba sa labas ng groceries may mga stalls. So either we buy, kami ng kapatid ko, ang hilig namin, yung mga chicken balls, squid balls.
Yes.
Or meron kaming Henlin na pinupuntahan lagi. And when we get siomai and siopaw actually. Baka naman.
Merong malapit dito, may mga rice meals na sila. Mga nasa, alam mo yung mga rice toppings. Pero eto baka hindi ka maniwala. Ang una kong exposure sa siomai ay siomai sa Mamunluk. At ang una kong exposure sa siomai, hindi ganyan.
Ano?
Nasa sabaw.
Ay, masarap din yun.
Parang dumpling soup.
Oo.
Na hindi ko alam kung sa ko unang nakita yon, pero kinakain siya separately na walang soup at nilalagay sa chili mansi.
Yun ang una mong exposure sa siomai?
Yun talaga. Tapos kailan lang, nung ginaya ko lang na, pwede bang hiwalay po yung sabaw at yung siomai. So, ganun. Pero ngayon, hinahanap-hanap ko ulit yung comfort. Kasi wala na halos, wala nang malapit-lapit na branch dito ng Mamunluk. Baka naman may gustong magbuhay niyan. Merong isang malapit dito, malapit sa basement ng Mega Mall, yung Masuki. Oo. Alam mo, pag malapit ka na, pag nakakaamoy ka ng mapanghi. Hello pala sa mga taga-Masuki dyan.
Hello.
Oo, sila, ang nakakatuwa sa kanila, nagsaserve din sila ng Royal Grape.
Okay, hinahanap mo talaga yon.
Parang nagbagay na siya. Pero yung siomai na may sabaw, subukan po ninyo. May gumagawa naman yata
I'm sure, oo. Pero kasi yung nakasanayan natin, ako personally, nung college ako, tuwang-tuwa ako pag merong yung, nagtutulak, nung, Nagtutulak ng cart.
Pakampas lupa naman yan.
Hoy, grabe ka naman. Hindi ka ba pumatol sa gano'n nung college ka?
Akala mo sa akin.
Hindi,
Walang gano'n nung college kami.
Doon kami sa labas kasi ng Pinoval, doon yung lumang gym. So, syempre, kapag before the practice, kailangan mo ng konting gains, pampadagdag for energy.
Palusot.
Oo. Tapos hindi, ang mura
Pagtas
kasi.
ng game, kakain din ulit.
Hindi na, kasi tapos, hindi, practice. Kasi 10 na kami
Practice.
natatapos 10 ng gabi. Anyway,
Tama.
mura kasi yung siomai rice na binibili, typically for
Siomai
students.
rice?
Oo.
So ulit, magkano yun lahat?
Parang yung 4-piece siomai, alala ko, 4-piece siomai is 27 pesos.
May kanin
Pag
na
may
yun.
kanin, 33 ata.
Pwede na.
Buhay ka talaga. Oo.
Ano lang, siomai lang, wala siyang mga sides, gano'n.
Hindi, 4 na siomai, tas may kanin ka. Pero, to be fair, ang tawag dun sa, yung paper box.
Oo.
Maayos ang presentation. Tapos, syempre, hingi ka na ng mga toyo mansi na ipaplastic lang ni kuya.
May pa-extra rice si kuya. Wala.
Bibilihin mo. Ano yun, Direk? Oo, pang mga student meal. Tama si Direk.
Oo. Si Derek parang bata pa eh. Oo. Pero saan, may tanong ako, Derek, baka masagot mo to. No? Saan nanggaling yung chismis, o may kwento-kwento, na karamihan daw sa mga street siomai ay may karton.
Ginagawa
sangkap.
extender.
Oo. Totoo kaya yun, karton.
Pero, well, hindi natin alam, because we can't really know kung saan nila kinukuha lahat. Pero kasi, ako nag-explore ako ng siomai before. Inisip ko yan na, nung mas bata-bata ako, na gawing business and whatnot, pwede mo siyang kunin talaga ng mura. So, hindi mo, kumbaga, hindi nakakapagtataka na bakit nabebenta rin siya ng mura sa mga karinderya. Oo, not necessarily dahil iba yung laman.
Oo. Okay, nung pinag-isipan mo tong siomai as business, meron ba siyang paraan na, kumbaga, ma-modify mo siya according to your specifications?
No,
May ganun ba?
nung time na yon, kasi I was looking for, syempre nagtetest ka ng lasa ng siomai and yung pricing. Pero ano na siya, ganyan na siya, buo na siya when you buy it. Pero at that time, alala ko, parang lumalabas yung siomai, 3 piso lang ata.
3 piso isang peraso?
Isang peraso. Syempre kung yung naglalako, 27 ang benta, di magkano na yon? At least 6.50 na kagad ang benta niya sa isa, di ba?
Yung Master Siomai, masarap din doon yung kanilang sago gulaman.
Oo, gusto ko rin yun.
Parang ang hirap bumili ng siomai lang na hindi ka bibili ng...
Matic yun dapat.
Pero sumasama loob ko pag nakikita ko, ubos na. Yung drink.
Yung gulaman.
Pero meron pa rin siomai. Parang may mali, parang hindi balanse yung mundo.
Correct.
Pero may isa akong gusto din na siomai. Yung siomai ng Kowloon House.
Yes. Beef. Ang
Beef
tagal ko nang
siomai,
hindi
malaki.
nagko-Kowloon House.
Ito pala, yung kaibahan din pala ng siomai sa Mamonlok, malaki. It's probably mga 1 piraso siguro, parang 3 pirasong ganyan.
Shucks, ang sarap tuloy mag-amal.
Mamonlok na.
Okay.
Alright. Pagkain no? Ilang calories kaya yan?
Ay nako, mamaya pag-uusapan natin yung mga calories na yan. Pero ito, pag-usapan muna natin ang ating mga stories on social media. First one being on the Associated Press, Trump White House rescinds memo freezing federal money after widespread confusion. Let's see this clip from AP.
The White House is adding more confusion to a proposed freeze on spending related to federal grants. The situation is still evolving, but these are the latest developments. The White House is emphasizing that Trump's executive order about reviewing all government funding remains in place. But on Wednesday, Trump's budget office rescinded a measure implementing a freeze on trillions of federal dollars that flows from Washington to states, schools, and organizations. That move came less than 2 days after the White House Budget Office ordered the financial lifeline halted, sparking widespread confusion and legal challenges across the country. Since Monday, the White House has been scrambling to explain what would and wouldn't be subject to a pause in funding. Trump administration officials have said programs that provide direct assistance to Americans, including Medicare, Social Security, student loans, and food stamps, would not be affected. The freeze had been scheduled to go into effect at 5 p.m. Tuesday, but a federal judge put it on hold until at least next week after an emergency hearing requested by nonprofit groups that receive federal grants. An additional lawsuit by Democratic state attorneys general is also pending.
So, from, kumbaga, bipartisan yung mga reaksyon dito na malupit, ano? Parang mga red and blue states ay maangal. At naghahanap ng clarification kasi
Ang dami apektado.
ultimo yung spokesperson ng White House, etong si Christine Leavitt, kahit siya mismo nalilito siya. Parang unang tinanong kung covered daw by Medicaid. Hindi. Sabi nung una baka covered daw o baka baka hindi daw exempted pero exempted naman daw pala. Isa lang yan sa napakarami na programa. Kasi supposedly, ito yung move ng Trump administration para makatipid supposedly, no? Makatipid dahil kumbaga nag-expect siguro sila ng mababawas sa papasok na income sa kanila kung babawasan nila yung mga taxes.
Ang curious din ako to know is what does that mean, yung linya na hindi maapektuhan if it's a program directly helping the Americans?
Gets ko. Madali lang. Ibig sabihin, yung direct beneficiary ay mga citizens.
Correct. But
pero kasi maraming mga lugar, maraming proyekto, let's say, kunyaring Red Cross. Malaking part ng funding ng Red Cross dito sa Pilipinas ay galing din sa gobyerno ng Amerika. Isa rin dyan yung mga USAID na projects. Hope International, yan. So, meron pang President's fund for HIV, mga ganyan. Ano?
But what I'm talking about also is like yung mga programs that help to feed people. That's not necessarily just the citizens. Diba? Kasi meron kang mga, what do you call those, soup kitchens.
Yes.
Kung saan namimigay.
Meron isang NGO na ganun. Oo.
Paano yun? Apektado din ba yun? Klaro ba?
Wala nga linaw. Pero tanong dito, kung malapit-lapit siguro sa border yan, kung kumupop sila ng immigrants, baka hindi. Kasi ganyan yung ano niya. Medyo tinatarget niya na parang, Amerika muna.
Na nga.
Lagi na lang kaming bigay ng bigay, tanggap ng tanggap, tas what's in it for us? No? So, yun. Isa lang sa napakaraming proyekto. At i-transition siguro natin itong sunod na topic.
This is another important program na madami talaga ang nabahala dito. No? Sa susunod nating storya, this one on Business World Online, advocacy groups feel impact of U.S. foreign aid freeze. According to anti-HIV AIDS group Love Yourself, free pre-exposure prophylaxis, self-testing kits, and awareness campaigns are among the services that will be temporarily suspended. The group clarified that the essential services such as HIV testing, treatment, and trans health will continue as these programs are not dependent on a foreign aid.
Oo. So, Tita Denise, kaya pa?
Kaya ba?
Kaya ba? Love yourself. So, baka akalain ng mga rami itong love yourself ay yung supposedly yung ituturo dapat doon sa...
Hindi. Iba po yun.
Oo, hindi yun. Hindi yun. Although, may ganong factor din naman. Sabi niyo, alala ko hirit ni Woody Allen. Don't knock off masturbation because it's sex with someone I love.
Pero kasama sa ano daw yan sa mental health yung love yourself in that aspect.
Actually, matagal na to yung grupong itong Love Yourself Inc. Matagal na silang nag-work sa ganyang yung kumbaga itong aspect na ito, no? Sexualidad, HIV, treatment. Ngayon, isa lang ito sa marami maapektuhan kung matutuloy nga yung pagbawi ng federal, yung funding ng US State Department. Yan.
Ang bigat nun, yung kahit yung testing pa lang, yung PrEP, yung pre-exposure prophylaxis, kahit yung mga ganun pa rin, even the campaigns, di ba? Kung maapektuhan yan.
Correct.
As of now, alam naman natin na it's really a problem globally na tinatakal ng iba't ibang bansa yung HIV.
Meron dyan yung factor dyan, yung mga research sa climate change.
Yes.
Yan. Sa human rights, wala pa tayo sa usaping ganyan. Ano? Pagdating sa banggit natin, climate, environment, education, may ibang-iba, marami rin yan sinusuportahan pagdating. So, tingnan natin kung hanggang saan ito at ultimately, it will all boil down daw parang showdown between the power of the US President, the presidency versus yung Supreme Court. Considering kalahati nun, yung mga Trump appointees din.
Ayun na nga. So, kailangan nating abangan. Now, On to our next story, this one on the Philippine Star. The headline reads, UPLB prof invents board game on Filipino languages.
Naiintriga ako dito.
Excuse me.
Although, hindi ko pa masyadong na-visualize or nagigets
Oo.
sa description pa lang.
Pero parang ang sabi kasi is card game daw siya. Tapos meron daw mga assignments na parang ikaw yung teacher, researcher, may mga ganun siya. May kanya-kanya kang role, kumbaga.
Aba?
Agency representative, may mga ganung klase.
Napaka-geeky, ano?
Oo. Pero interesting to kasi nga, parang this will help, ang target daw talaga nito is high school and college students. So gusto niya na medyo interactive para hindi rin makalimutan at matutunan ng mga kabataan yung native languages of our country.
Okay, pero curious ako, no? Alam mo, anong favorite board game mo nung lumalaki ka? Naglaro ka ba ng Monopoly?
Scrabble kami. Oo. Tsaka Monopoly. At tsaka Snakes and Ladders.
Snake, inabot mo pa yun?
Oo naman.
Sabi na nga ba, matanda ka na eh. Kala ko pa, bata ka pa eh.
Oo.
Oh. Pero may Snakes and Ladders pa ng panahon mo.
Oo nga. Favorite ko yun. Pero yung mother ko kasi, ang gusto niya talaga before, growing up, yung Scrabble. Kami ng kapatid ko.
Oo. Naintriga lang ako dito kasi at kahit paano sa Monopoly, you're supposed to engage in a certain role play. Kunyari, mayaman ka, kaya mo bilhin itong corner ng Manhattan na ito. So dito, ano kaya ang magiging parang ano mo, kumbaga, ano yung magiging parang sort of role mo?
Correct. It's interesting nga kasi nung binabasa natin kanina, no, ang mga roles daw ay teacher, researcher, nasan ba yun? Meron pang agency eh. Ayan, agency representative and language promoter. Sabi, each contributing to specific skills to advance in the game and complete the shared mission of saving native languages from extinction. Ano kaya yan?
Gusto ko ito matry.
Ako rin eh.
Oo, pero agency, anong agency kaya?
Ayun na nga.
Modeling agency?
Ay, hindi natin alam.
Ad agency? Sana ad agency. Kasi nagagamit, alam natin na ang mga advertisements ay bahagi ng popular na kultura at minsan yung descriptive realidad ay ginagamit ng mga commercials. Kung ano yung, parang kumbaga salamin sila naman nangyayari sa ground. As opposed to yung prescriptive ay parang teacher versus ako yung magpe-prescribe kung ano tama, kung ano mali. So, tingnan natin. Dahil nabubuhay lang naman ang wika, kapag ginagamit palagi at pag ito ay nag-evolve, no? At namamatay ang wika kapag hindi na natin ginagamit.
Ayun na
of
nga.
course. Again, ito native languages. So, alam natin na hindi lang Bisaya, hindi lang Filipino, hindi lang Tagalog ang wika. Napakarami, no? At marami rin nalilito sa kung ano ba ang tinatawag nilang wika versus dialect, ganyan. Oo. Kung titignan mo, ang KWF ay meron pong parang language map na tinatawag, no? So, bawat isang bahagi ng Pilipinas nakasulat doon kung ano yung mga wika na sinasabi.
Okay, abangan natin kung kano. Kasi I think kumukuha pa lang sila ng ano eh.
Pero meron akong,
rights to...
meron akong parang isang matinding, hindi naman sama ng panghihinayang.
Go.
Yung Jejemon, ano nangyari doon?
Wait, gusto mo yon?
Hindi naman gusto.
You're amused by it?
Naiintriga ako sa kanya. At yung mga posibilidad na maaari niyang puntahan sana. Pero
Yun kasi pati writing eh, naiiba eh.
ang isang teorya din doon kasi ikipad.
No, I get it. Because sometimes, you have to shorten it. Dahil maaalala natin, back mga 20 years ago, mga 20 years ago, limited yung number of characters na pwede mo isend sa text. So, talagang kaya minsan yung iba sumasagot, nasanay na ang okay ay K lang. 'Di ba? Or basta i-shorten nila with certain numbers or whatever para nga magkasya. Pero yung sinasabi mo kasi na yung Jejemon, yung sa spelling, sometimes they really change the letters to certain...
Pero ang explanation ng iba doon, hindi raw sadya, kasi may ibang mga keypads na para mabilis, ito na lang pipindot, wala parang musta. Oo. Ano pa yun sa, di ba, musta po. Di ba?
Paano naging mabilis may pop, ha?
Yun nga, kasi dahil yung keypad ay factor siya.
No, but how do you explain, let's say, when people write Jejemon, they use the number 3 instead of the E?
Yun nga, may kinalaman sa keypad kasi hindi yata ito, yung ginagamit natin ngayon ay iba doon sa mga keypad ata. At parang pangmabilisan lang. Palibasa, puro iPhone ang gamit mo mula
Hindi,
nung bata.
Nokia ako simula
At
nung.
alam natin na ang wika din ay affected siya ng teknolohiya palagi.
Totoo din naman.
So tingnan natin kung saan pupunta. Ito si Sir Patrick, may dinidiscuss natin dati yung TikTok na English.
Yes, yung
Oo.
intonation, kung saan yung mga...
Yung intonation, pati yung tawag dito, yung ano rin, what is the word I'm looking for?
What? Ito ba yung parang laging bitin, yung dulo?
Bitin, tsaka yung syntax, yung pagpili ng yung arrangement ng salita, mga ganon. Alam natin magbabago pa yan. At ito ngayon, pagpasok pa ng AI,
Correct.
kung uso pa ba yung wika sa panahon ng AI,
Ay, nako.
o utos na lang tayo ng parang ganon. Hey Siri,
Hey Siri. Hindi
alam
ko
mo,
masyado
minsan sinabi ko,
ginagamit.
naka-on pala si Siri.
Oo.
May ginawa si Siri, loko.
Alam mo, I kid you not, 2 days ago ko lang trinay si Siri. Sabi ko, hey Siri.
Talaga?
Oo, hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. Natuwa naman ako. Naglalaga ko itlog. Parang,
Inutusan mo pa si Siri para
Hindi, tinesting ko lang. Tinesting, hindi ko ginagamit si Siri na medyo na ako na... Ayoko lang. Parang kaya ko naman siya pindutin eh.
Oo.
Pero sinubukan ko lang
Pero
just
alam mo,
to try.
kung gusto mo maging smart yung buong ano mo, pwede kang bumili ng lutuan, ay i-connecta mo kay Alexa.
Yes, okay.
Tropa ni Siri si Alexa. Dahil Google nga lang, dahil Amazon nga ba? Tama,
Meron ako,
marami siyang
kung malala yung tawag doon.
marami siyang mga koneksyon.
Yeah.
So, pwede mong utusan si Alexa na buksan yung ilaw o maglaga ng itlog for 2 minutes.
There are things na kailangan gawin mo on your own. Naniniwala ako dyan.
Pero yung set,
Tinesting ko lang.
yung set ng timer, tapos magluto lang.
Sobra-sobra nga. Kung totoong sa pot yun, overcooked ang itlog ko. Anyway, okay, sige, lipat na po tayo sa ating susunod na storya. Go.
Congratulations kay Mariel Hias Liwanag.
Ayan, oo nga,
Siya yung
congratulations.
UPLB Assistant Professor of Communication Arts na siya yung nakakuha ng 100,000 na grant from the Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino. No? Yung Gawa Julian Cruz Balmaceda 2025 para sa thesis niya. Okay, si Julian Cruz Balmaceda ay isang Makata playwright at language scholar na nabuhay noong late 1800s hanggang namatay siya noong 1940s.
So again, congratulations kay Mariel Hias Liwanag.
Yes.
Aabangan namin yung game mo for sure.
Ano ko na rin, sa mga tropa natin sa KWF, meron din po silang contest for dramatic monologue writing at poem writing. O tingnan niyo po yung KWF na website. Ito pala yung itsura ni Mariel Hias Liwanag.
May picture siya?
Meron. Nasaan na?
Ay, nasa na?
Pinapahiya naman ako sa mga friends ko nitong nandiyan kanina eh. Ayan.
Ayan, ay.
Ayun siya. Yan si Mariel Hias Liwanag.
Ayan. So again, congratulations. Okay. Abangan natin yung game niya pag lumabas na. Ito,
Ako rin gumawa ng game ngayon.
Oo, aabangan din to, no? This one on the Philippine Star, Quezon City signs rules requiring restaurants to display calorie count. Yung mga talagang nagka-calorie counting dito, for sure, abangan nila to. So basically, itong si Mayor Joy Belmonte, ang sinasabi niya, nag-sign na siya implementing the rules at nasa city ordinance requiring food establishments to display calorie counts. Hindi po bago to. Pag pumunta kayo sa ibang bansa, usually nakikita nyo to sa menu, even on the fast food restaurants.
Talaga?
So, like when you, di ba, especially like in the States or when you go to Western countries. Actually, parang, I think, hindi ako masyadong sure, pero sa Singapore din ata, some restaurants, they do that. So, ito kasi, they're saying, this is an effort to improve the health daw of QC citizens. Para they are informed in making their choices.
Okay.
O bakit?
Baka middle class na problem ng calorie intake.
Actually.
Kasi marami tayong kababayan na kailangan ng calories.
Oo.
Walang makain.
Correct.
At bad calories yung nakukuha. Pero halimbawa, kunyari lang, sa isang fast food, ang calorie count ba, halimbawa, pag sinisigawan ka ba ng menu na, hoy, itong orderin mo ay may 3,000 calories. Order ka pa ba?
May guilty ka ba? Feeling ko, it depends eh. Kasi meron din naman mga tao na kailangan nila ng mas mataas na calorie intake. That's why it's really just, you have to be informed in all of your choices. Diba? Pwedeng mababa nga pwedeng mataas yung calories, pero mataas din naman pala yung protina at kailangan mo yon bilang atleta, at least alam mo. Diba?
Naisip ako invention.
Ano?
Kaya yung menu na huhusgahan ka. Pag-order ka. Or pag sound choice, papalakpak. May soundtrack na.
Grabe yung husgahan. Bigyan mo ka na sample.
Halimbawa,
Kaya iniisip ko, double cheeseburger, medium fries, medium coke.
are you sure about that order?
Ganun pa yung tono. Oo.
Yung parang may medyo stiff upper
Sana
crust pa.
Tagalogin mo.
Stiff upper lip.
Sigurado ka na ba?
Sigurado ka ba?
O orderin mo ba talaga
magandang
yan?
boses yan, Kaninang boses ang maganda dyan?
Kanino nga ba?
Sino bang sikat na kontrabida ngayon?
Sino ba?
Sigurado ka ba? Alam ko na. Boses ni Rodrigo Duterte.
Hala.
Anak ng
Moy! Teka lang.
Kakainin mo yan?
Oh.
Kakainin mo yan? Yung taba mo na.
Grabe
Ganun
naman.
siya.
May pag-ata.
Good kaya nga. So para siyang ways na pwede mo rin siyang iset kung kaninong boses yung gusto mo. Kapag healthy naman yung in-order mo, naks, may gaganan.
Ayan!
Yan. Yee! Naks.
Ako, okay, kung saan pa tayo mapunta. Now we move on to
Pero
showbiz.
tama ba ako? Nagkaganyan sa San Juan dati.
Ay,
Yung McDo sa San Juan. Sa Green
San
Hills.
Juan?
Hindi ako sigurado, pero alam ko nagkaganyan.
Oo,
Briefly.
pwede. Kasi yung McDonald's, again, in some parts of the world, meron din talagang ganyan.
Hindi ko yata nakita yun, pero sigurado ako, bulag na o-order.
Order na lang, oh. Minsan lang naman. Okay.
Kung anong masarap, doon tayo.
Correct.
Okay. Sa puntong ito, bati muna tayo. May mga una nagtatanong. Hindi ko alam paano inatanong, ano ba to? At Pilipinas? Nag-usap daw ba tayo sa outfit?
Hindi. Pero madalas nga,
Great minds think alike, ika nga. Hello din kay Bea Dalisay. Fave ko yan, siomay.
Oo, masarap talaga yung siomay.
Rodel Alcantara, not a fan of siomay. Mamunlok, I think, Sir Lord, yung malapit sa Banawe, Chinatown meron. It's along Quezon Avenue, yun yung Banawe, tawag nila Banawe branch, no? Malapit sa kanto ng Banawe. At medyo mahirap ang parking doon at nakasubok na ako mag-park na malapit-lapit sa Banawe. Pag uwi ko, nawalan ako ng side mirror.
Ayun, aray. Ito gusto ko yung pangalan niya, ha? Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Really?
Elon Musk, witty. Sabi niya, hindi ako nabubusog sa 3 peraso ng siomay. Bitin yun, Boss Lord.
Tama. Kaya may kanin.
Oo. Okay.
Kasus naman yung puro siomay lang orderin.
Correct. Mike Policarpio, Tito Lord, comparable ba sa'yo ang noodles ng Masuki at ng Mamonluk?
Okay, meron tayong deep dive dyan. Gusto mo mag-deep dive dyan? Okay, magkaiba ang broth. Kasi ang Masuki, lalo-lalo na yung mga based sa mga malls, lahat sila, ang kitchen ay required na itapon ng lahat ng mga natitirang basa. Lahat mga empty pots. As opposed to yung mga off-mall branches, meron sila tinatawag ng mother broth. Na supposedly, hindi yung tinatapon.
Ay,
andun lang sa dagdag.
Correct.
Dagdag. So, may effect yung lasa nun. Doon sa, hindi man fermentation. Medyo ibig sabihin may nabubulok na involved. Pero yung pag-age ng broth, may factor yun. So ito, masasabi mo sa mga malls, medyo malinis.
Mas malinis.
Quote unquote. Pero malinis naman yung sa wala namang namamatay doon. Oo. Pero kumbaga, dahil may mga procedures na kailangan sundin, medyo iba yung effect. Pero ang noodles mismo, parang
parehas lang?
Nakaka-affect kasi pag yung noodles nasa sabaw na eh. Oo. At hindi ako yung naglalagay ng siopaw sauce doon sa noodles. Kasi iba ginagawa yun.
Ginagawa ba yun? Ako nga yung siopaw sauce, hindi ko din ginagamit sa siopaw eh.
Oh, tama. May point ka dyan. Lalo-lalo na kung asado.
May lasa naman eh.
Tsaka yung texture din.
Oo.
Sauce, parang gano'n na yun. O, sino pa ba? Okay, pabati na rin. Wag poors daw si Jay. Jay lang ang pangalan niya. Si Lian. Sabi niya, Kowloon beef siomai. Definitely same taste beef siomai sa Hong Kong street food.
Gusto ko tuloy kumain.
Kala ko gusto kong pumunta ng Hong Kong.
Ay, pwede. Trabaho muna tayo.
Alright, hanggang 3:00 pa kami, kaya marami pa kaming kwento. Nahatid sa inyo. Afternoon Delight will be right back after this quick break. Diyan lang kayo, dahil dito lang kami. Hello, happy anniversary po ulit sa DOST. Magandang hapon po. This is Afternoon Delight on One News again. Ako po si Lourdes Vera, kasama po si Ms. Denise Tan.
And here now is a quick rundown of some stories on One News. The Philippine economy fell short of the government's growth target in 2024. The country's gross domestic product grew by 5.6%, below the target range of 6 to 6.5%. However, this was an improvement from 2023's 5.5% growth. Former Senate President Franklin Drilon describes the 2025 budget as the most corrupt he has ever seen. He claims that the House of Representatives has taken over the budget process, stripping President Marcos of control. Drilon calls on PBBM to reassert control over the coffers for the country's welfare. But President Marcos says he read all 4,057 pages of the national budget. He insists there are no blank entries as they are not allowed by law. The chief executive assures Filipinos that he closely scrutinized the General Appropriations Act of 2025.
Meantime, the House of Representatives has agreed on an amount for its legislated minimum wage hike proposal, 200 pesos, and that applies to all workers nationwide. But employers worry that a law mandating a wage increases could open the system to politicizing, especially now that it's an election year. And Newswire correspondent Marian Enriquez has the details.
For the workers, for the people. Let's do it!
If it were up to Speaker Martin Romualdez, his allies and labor leaders, the minimum wage in the country should be raised by 200 pesos across the board. And that's what they're pushing for in the legislated wage hike proposal that has languished for quite some time in Congress. The last pay hike approved by lawmakers happened way back in 1989, or 36 years ago, under the Wage Rationalization Act. Back then, the increase neither drove up inflation nor caused businesses to close shop. But this is a different time. The population is much bigger and there are far more people engaged in small-time entrepreneurship now than before. For Gabriela Partila's representative Arlene Brosas, 200 pesos is still not enough to tide Filipino workers over. She is pushing for a wage hike of 750 pesos, so daily take-home pay will be at 1,200 pesos, enough for a family of 5 to live decently. But for now, Brosas says she'll take the amount proposed by the speaker.
Positive development mula po sa atin. Ang kainaman po ay merong pagtaas na magaganap.
Last year, the Senate passed a bill for a 100 peso daily minimum wage hike. It was met with resistance by the private sector, especially the more than 95% belonging to the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector, or MSMEs. They warned that this will hurt the thousands of small employers also grappling with the impact of inflation. Assistant Majority Leader Pami Zamora can only ease the worries of traders with this.
I remember dun sa 100 peso wage hike, exempted ang mga companies, na may 10 employees and below. Exempted din ang mga companies na ang capital is 3 million pesos and below.
Other lawmakers want to strike a balance between workers' needs and the actual capacity of employers to hike wages while trying to stay afloat.
We're facing record inflation, and there are a lot of external factors to consider now. And quite plainly, when you look around, umaaray nga po ang tao. Yun, we have to approach it with abundant caution because not all parties stand to benefit.
This is actually to strike a balancing act on how we can maintain this negosyo. At the same time, hindi naman masyado din mahirapan sa kanilang gastusin yung kanilang mga empleyado.
But the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, or ECOP, is adamant. A legislated wage hike would only open the system to corruption. ECOP suggests that lawmakers leave this matter to the Tripartite Wage Board.
It is better to leave it with the Tripartite Wage Board kasi represented of DTI, DOLE, DEDA, legislated wage. Natatakot yung mga investors eh.
The House Committee on Labor and Employment will hear the proposed minimum wage hike bill on Thursday, January 30. They hope to pass the measure before the 19th Congress ends in June or right after the midterm elections. For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
And this just in, the House Committee on Labor and Employment has approved the bill proposing a 200 peso increase in the daily minimum wage nationwide. And the measure will be sent to plenary next, where debates and amendments shall happen before it's finally passed on third reading.
Meantime, here's a developing story from the U.S. A passenger jet collided with an Army helicopter while landing at the Ronald Reagan National Airport in Washington, with both aircraft crashing into the Potomac River. Here's what we know so far. The mid-air crash occurred around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 64 people were aboard the passenger plane that came from Wichita, Kansas, while 3 soldiers were aboard the Black Hawk. There are reports of fatalities, but there is no confirmation yet as to the exact number. There's also no immediate word on the cause of collision, but all takeoffs and landings from the airport near Washington have so far been halted. This is to allow choppers from law enforcement agencies across the region to fly over the scene in search of survivors. Inflatable rescue boats have also been launched into the Potomac River from a point near the airport along the George Washington Parkway. The airport is just over 3 miles south of the White House and the Capitol. Now back here at home, authorities are pursuing a suspected recruiter who allegedly sells jobs in the Bureau of Fire Protection. News 5 correspondent Brian Castillo reports.
Bit-bit ang arrest warrant. Sinadya ng mga pulis ang tanggapan ng Bureau of Fire Protection sa Agham Road, Quezon City. Pakay nila ang Senior Officer 2 na sangkot umano sa malawakang illegal recruitment. Pero wala siya sa headquarters ng BFP. Kaya ang opisina muna ng BFP Personnel and Records Management ang tumanggap ng arrest warrant.
I-inform ko lang naman na may warrant yung isang buwan niya dati.
Pinangakuan umano ng naturang SFO2 ng trabaho sa BFP ang mga nagrereklamo ng may bayad. Hindi pa tukoy kung nasa magkano ang nakikil at ilan ang nagoyo niya. Pero large-scale illegal recruitment ang ikinaso laban sa kanya.
So far sir, inahanap pa natin yung data at kaya nga po nandito tayo sa Bureau of Fire sana. So para makausap natin yung isa sa mga opisyal nila at malaman natin kung ano yung status ng case niya.
Napag-alamang dating nakatalaga ang suspect na bumbero sa training center sa BFP Region 4 kung saan ginawa raw ang pagre-recruit sa mga aplikante. Nagtungo rin ng mga pulis sa iba pang mga address na ginamit umano ng suspect.
Alam mo ng mga manloloko, minsan ginagamitan ng ibang address at para ilihis yung kanilang pagkakilanlan.
Sa isang bahay, may nagpakilalang nanay ng suspect. Matagal na raw hindi umuwi doon ang kanyang anak at wala raw silang balita kung nasaan na ito ngayon. Iniimbestigahan din ngayon ang nakalap na impormasyon na nakalabas na ng bansa ang suspect.
We cannot discount the fact na mayroong someone, if not somebody na may nagtatago. But of course, it's her own prerogative. Harapin na lang yung kung ano man yung I know may story din on her side and the best avenue is harapin niya na lang yung kung ano yung ikinaso sa kanya.
Bilang Pilipino,
102 days before the 2025 midterm elections, and here are some stories we're watching. 8 senatorial candidates backed by the Marcos administration continue to lead in the latest social weather station survey. Axis Representative Erwin Tulfo remains in the lead with 45%, followed by former Senator Tito Soto with 38%. The biggest gainer in the survey is former Senator Lito Lapid, who rose from 11th place in December 2024 with 23% to third to fourth place with 37%. Meantime, 8 party lists received more than 2% of the votes in the same SWS survey that was commissioned by Stratbase. These are 4Ps, Duterte Youth, Axis, Senior Citizens, Ako Bicol, Tingog, FPJ Panday Bayanihan, and Kabataan. Meantime, COMELEC has suspended the printing of ballots for the first parliamentary elections in BARM. That's after President Marcos certified as urgent the bill postponing the polls in the region. The Senate bill seeks to give BARM more time to realign its governance structure. And government officials, PNP, AFP, and media covering the polls may avail of early voting. Local absentee voting will run from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on April 28 through 30.
Alright, ang tanong ngayon, where is President Bongbong Marcos? Ang sagot, diya sa Cebu. Unya, unsagihin mo ni President Marcos diya. Let's get updates from One News Cebu Desk. Dale Israel. Dale.
Yes, mayang hapon, Lord. This morning, President Bongbong Marcos led the meeting of the Regional Development Council Central Visayas, or RDC7, with the governors of Cebu, Bohol, Negros Oriental, and Siquijor. This is probably one of the last times that Negros Oriental and Siquijor will be with the RDC7, which will because they will be separated from Central Visayas and join the Negros Island region with the Negros Occidental province. The only thing that will be left in Central Visayas will be the provinces of Bohol and Cebu. The cabinet and regional directors of national line agencies were also present to discuss projects to be implemented here in Central Visayas. The discussion is dwell into the planned subway system for Metro Cebu from Carcar City to Danao City. There is also a Panglao-Tagbilaran BRT and updates on the Cebu BRT and several other mega projects for the region. There are also planned improvements for the Tagbilaran City Port and the Dumaguete City Seaport. The president also attended the National Convention of Lawyers at the Waterfront Cebu City Hotel that was organized by the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. There are 3,984 lawyers from various corners of the country that were present this morning. There were discussions on how to improve the legal profession in the country and how they will deal with the current problems that they are facing. The president left a few minutes ago here from the Capitol, and the president will be here at the Capitol. He met with the governor and governors of the Visayas, around the Visayas. Member of the One Cebu Party was also here, led by Governor Gwen Garcia, and the mayors of Cebu Province were also here at the luncheon meeting. The event was like a show of force of elected officials in the Visayas in support of President Bongbong Marcos. A manifesto was in fact signed by a majority of the governors across the Visayas region. Separate manifesto was also signed by the members of the One Cebu Party led by Governor Gwen Garcia. It is not clear why a manifesto was of support was signed, but as we all know, the issues surrounding the president and the vice president and that lead to a polarity in politics in the country. The president is now headed to the Mactan Cebu International Airport to launch the alternate runway of the airport. How important is the alternate runway? You know, Lord, the Cebu Airport only has one runway, and this will the alternate runway will be used in the event that the main runway has to be closed and the operations will not be paralyzed if the airport's main runway is closed. The Cebu Airport is the second busiest airport in the country. The runway can also be used if the main runway is congested to ease the traffic. Back to you, Lord.
All right, on that note, maraming salamat sa iyo, Dale Israel. Yan po ang ating One News Cebu Desk, Dale Israel. Thanks, Dale.
This is Afternoon Delight on One News. We just need to take another break, and as we do so, we bring you the latest global headlines from the Associated Press.
This is AP News Minute. President Donald Trump is opening a detention center at Guantanamo Bay to hold up to 30,000 immigrants who are living illegally in the United States. Trump announced the plan before he signed the Laken Riley Act into law as the administration's first piece of legislation. President Donald Trump's budget office rescinded an order freezing spending on federal grants that sparked widespread confusion and legal challenges across the country. The White House confirmed OMB pulled the memo in a 2-sentence notice to agencies and departments. The Federal Reserve left its key interest rate unchanged, a sign of a cautious approach as the Fed seeks to gauge where inflation heads and what policies President Trump may pursue. French President Emmanuel Macron announced that the Mona Lisa will get a dedicated room inside the Louvre. Macron said that the museum would be renovated and expanded in a major overhaul within the decade.
And we're back. You're still watching Afternoon Delight. Thanks for staying with us. Here are the latest stories in sports. Filipino pole vaulter and Olympian EJ Obiena won the silver medal at the International Jump Meeting at Cottbus in Germany. This is his first event since recovering from a back injury last year. American Sam Kendricks claimed the gold with the final clearance at 5.75 meters, while Germany's Bokanda Lita Bear secured bronze. Defending champion San Miguel failed to make it to the PBA Season 49 Commissioner's Cup playoffs. This is the first time the Beermen will not advance to the playoffs in 10 years. NLEX's win over Eastern yesterday secured the Road Warriors' playoff spot, eliminating San Miguel. And Cheritigo aims for back-to-back wins against Zeus Coffee Thunderbells in the PVL All-Filipino Conference today at 4 p.m. That game will be followed by a match between Galleries Tower High-Risers and Farm Fresh Foxies at 6:30 p.m.
A woman in Quezon City has been collecting spare change for over 10 years, and she turns them into art. The mobile journal, Denise Valdesancho, has the story.
Uso ngayon ang mga ipon challenge, pero ang mga barayang inilalagay sa alkansya, pwede ba lang gawing art? Mula sa imahe ni Jesucristo, sa paggaya sa Mona Lisa, o kahit mga puno at hayop, yakang-yaka yan sa kakaibang idea na naisip ni Marites Gonzaga. With her coins and the plywood, Marites started doing her magic noong 2017.
I was so surprised kasi parang I was under the spell of the coins. They were forming themselves.
Kwento niya, 2006 pa nang simulan niyang mongolekta ng mga barya. Napapansin niya kasing pakalat-kalat lang ang mga ito sa kalsada habang naglalakad siya papuntang opisina. Sa isang araw, nasa 3 pisong halaga ng barya ang naiipon niya. Sa mahigit isang dekadang pangongolekta niya, nakaipon si Marites ng mahigit kumulang 20 bote ng mga barya. Mula dyan, mahigit 2 dosena naman na ang nabuo niyang mosaic.
Sayang kasi parang wala siyang purpose. And I couldn't deposit them sa bangko kasi alam ko, mananabog na naman sila sa kalsada. So if I deposit them sa bangko, chances are I'll pick them up again because people just don't care.
Hindi naman daw talaga lumaking artistic si Marites. Outside of being a coin artist, empleyado ng Araneta Group at President Manuel A. Rojas Foundation o PMARF si Marites. Tila lumabas lang ang kanyang talento nang unti-unting ilapag ang mga barya na nakuha na rin sa hilig niya sa mga repair and restoration.
I don't know kung anong stroke of luck yun. Parang kung titingnan ko, parang imposible. But then lumilitaw sila.
For her next obra maestra, ginagawa niya naman ang imahe ng isang mangyan bilang parte ng isang art exhibit sa Oriental Mindoro Heritage Museum. Gawa man sa pera, hindi raw matatapatan ng anumang halaga ang kanyang mga nabuo na pangarap niyang mabigyan ng sarili nitong coin house. Ika nga nila, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Anumang bagay kahit mga lumang coins, kayang-kayang muling bigyang buhay. Mobile Journal, Denise Valdesancho po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Barya ba ka mo? Barya lang sa umaga, sabi ng mga jeep. Sabi rin sa jeep, God knows who does not pay.
Correct.
Pero tuwing hapon, araw-araw, dito sa programa nga to, ginto, palagi ang hatid sa inyo ng segment na talaga namang pag sinanla mo sa pawn shop, hihimatayin talaga yung nag-a-appraise. Ito na po ang I Saw the Signs. Today's edition.
Barya lang po.
Sige
Una.
nga. Barya. Minsan...
Nasa bulsa, minsan sa hita. Oh.
Meron ka ba yan?
Meron.
Ako meron din.
Oo.
Pero it's way high up there. Ano yung pakita natin? Ito.
Ano pinapakita natin?
Si Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo. Walang oras siguro yung gumawa niyan, ano?
Walang oras siguro.
Para baka hindi mo na inabot to, Tito Denise. Mga tigli ₱5.
Oh.
Yung si Ginaldo.
Oh, nabot ko na yun. Yung papel na yun?
Ginagawa ng Randy Santiago.
Hindi ba bawal yun?
Maraming...
No, but I'm just saying,
time.
paalala lang po, ano, dapat hindi natin na ginagawa yun.
Huwag niyo gawin yun.
Oh, sige. Okay.
Wala na mga tao halos sa mga pera natin.
Ay, wala na nga pala.
Except for some.
Okay, may isa pa
next. Okay, Batman. Ito naman ay dati.
Magkasama pa sila. Ngayon, naghihiwalay na sila. Wala talagang forever.
Hanggang sa barya, walang unity.
Correct.
Thanks, Obama.
Okay.
Thanks, Beyonce.
Pag may nakita po kayong mga ganyang signs, please send them to us at afternoondelightON@gmail.com.
Oo, wag lang barya. Parang kung may pera na papel, padala nyo rin sa amin.
Pwede rin, why not? Yung asul.
Asul.
Okay, that will have to do it for us this Thursday, January 30. Thanks for watching Afternoon Delight. I'm Denise Tan.
Join us again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Ako po si Lord De Vera. Have a delightful afternoon.